Hello, everyone, once again. I hope you all are doing great. I would like to welcome you all to today's webinar session on Unlearn HR to learn Agile PeopleOps. On behalf of Agile PeopleOps, me, Mariana Di Rosario, your host, would like to thank you all for taking out your precious time and joining us today. So what is the Agile PeopleOps global community? Our core intent is to create the PeopleOps social fabric to harness collective intelligence and practice new PeopleOps learnings. The three core Agile PeopleOps global company attributes are connect, collaborate, and co-create, the 3 C's. So in this webinar, we will be learning about why we need to bid goodbye to HR and welcome Agile PeopleOps, understand Agile PeopleOps framework, its manifesto, and values. I would now like to introduce our United Kingdom country ambassador, Ms. Roxanne Allen. She is a future-oriented and naturally curious people professional who can motivate and form relationships with stakeholders of all levels. She is certified in Agile HR. Having worked at mid-senior level for the last 5 years in specialist HR and talent development roles in various industries, including tech, construction, engineering, and public sector, in a portfolio career, she can identify and assess issues quickly, enabling her to solve problems with creative, successful solutions. Agile HR and business agility have been a massive part of her professional life over the last few years. She has worked in Agile organizations, completed a qualification, and rolled out Agile HR in her current team. She is currently the talent development manager of a games publisher. I would like to invite Roxanne for a welcome note and to speak a few words.
Thank you very much, Mariana. I just wanted to say a big hello and welcome to everyone. It's an absolute privilege being the UK ambassador for Agile PeopleOps. I'm so pleased that we have Sarika and Nadia with us today to take us through how to unlearn HR to learn Agile PeopleOps. And I know it's going to be quite an impactful and very insightful session for all on. I'll pop a link to the community in the chat for anyone who hasn't joined the community already, but I'll hand back over to Mariana. Thank you.
Thank you, Roxanne. I would now like to introduce our esteemed speakers for today's session. The first speaker is Ms. Nadia Bernard. She is a partner program manager at Agile PeopleOps and APF certified PeopleOps coach and L&D manager at Rand Capital Coffee, Starbucks, South Africa license holder. She is passionate about people operations and learning and development. The second speaker is Ms. Sarika Gupta. She's a PeopleOps director and APF certified PeopleOps coach at Culture Religions and SAP certified from CDAC. As a human-centered leader, she is passionate about elevating the people's experience within the company and continuously strives to leverage a constructive culture between and across diverse distributed teams. Sarika loves to use her mentoring and coaching toolkit to bring the best out of people. Welcome, Nadia and Sarika. The stage is all yours.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. So I'm going to kick off. So for today's agenda, we're going to go through the current business realities. We're also going to discuss traditional HR versus people operations. We're going to look at the paradigm shift, go through some of the APF manifestos and values, and then talk around the APF value realization. So I think a lot of us can relate to this, that we find ourselves in a very chaotic landscape that can be characterized by disruption. We can label it as, if we use the term VUCA. So when we talk around VUCA, it's a term that comes from the US Army, and it talks around the landscape being volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. So like I said before, a lot of us can relate because that is how business is and how business is working at the moment. 2022 has been seen as the year of great resignation. So up to 40% of employees were unhappy in their job due to lack of career development, finding meaning in their work, as well as workplace flexibility. So how do we move from this great resignation to the great reimagination? So this is going to take a lot of reshuffling, rethinking, refocusing, and resetting. And this is where Agile PeopleOps comes in, and that's what we're going to discuss today. You can go to the next slide. So the Josh Bersin company, every year they do what they call the HR predictions for 2022, or I mean the HR predictions for that year. The trends or the predictions that for 2023 was that that the main focus will be on the employee experience, building HR skills and capabilities. Coaching will be a power skill, as well as learning skills and career pathways will become business critical for HR to survive or stay with the times, I would say. So as you can see, challenges ahead will include upskilling the HR team, organizing HR around agile design and delivery, and this continuous innovating or improvement around the employee experience, recruitment, hybrid work, and multi-generational career paths. And I think a lot of us on the school can relate to this as well, because this is the workplace that we find ourselves in. We go to the next slide. So in order for us to move forward or to become more agile, we need to come with terms with the concept that human resources is an outdated concept. When we talk around our employees, you know, they aren't just resources, but they are actually assets to the companies that will help companies get a competitive advantage. I think that this is where Agile PeopleOps looks at employees differently than just seeing them as human resources. You can go to the next slide. So what this means for us to upskill, it means that we need to rebrand the whole concept of human resources. So leaders are now seen as chief people officers. Some companies have gone as far as to call the leaders chief heart officers. So you can see that employee experience is sitting in the job title, or chief amazement officer. So stepping away from the HR business partner title to more of a chief amazement officer or chief heart officer. So creating that employee experience. You can go to the next slide. So when we now move from traditional HR to people operations, we need to look at what's the difference between the two. So when we talk around traditional HR, it's all of those transactional and tactical, which is there to execute tasks, be it for recruitment, be it for learning and development, which is there ticking the boxes. Where people operation takes a more strategic approach. It's all about creating and implementing a goal-based program and initiatives. Sorry. Traditional HR is also very reactive. They respond to issues as they come up. You know, maybe there's a recruitment issue or there's a new system that needs to be launched and we need to hire new people. We're reacting to the business needs instead of it being deliberate, creating proactive programs to achieve goals and looking at the future and upskilling for the future. Traditional HR is also more siloed and narrow, so limited to boundaries of traditional HR practices. You know, this is where we're recruiting in an old way, we're driving talent management in an old way, where people operations will take a more holistic view and take a wider view of business and use tools to address them. And then traditional HR partners are usually just informed. They're told about decisions and expected to execute. So top management will tell HR, listen, we want you to hire new employees, or we want to start a new system. Where with people operations, people are these partners are consulted. They sit around the table where they help make decisions for the business with the business. So they're brought into these strategic conversations and discussions to add value and insight. And it's important to add that value and insight because it's all about the people in the business, how people are experiencing the business. Thank you. You can go to the next slide. So Laszlo Bock wrote a book called Work Rules. So he was the HR business partner for Google, and he spent a few years at Google. And what he said is that despite all the benefits, be it free lunches, be it a playroom, a place where you could take a nap, depending on whatever benefit you want to look at, it's not about the benefits, but it's more about the meaning that work creates. So our employees will get more, what's the word I'm looking for? Will get more out of work when they find meaning in the work that they do. So if we can put in all of those benefits, but does the work we're doing create meaning? A social media company, Buffer, stated that if old HR is about managing rules and policies, people operation is about designing work so that you want to be there. You want to be present and engaged and proud of what you do. I think for us on the school as HR professionals, that will be the ideal for us, where we have employees that are present, engaged, proud, and happy of what they do. You can go to the next slide. So this brings us to what does it mean to be agile? When we talk about agile people ops, agile is something that is seen as just something from the IT business, but the whole concept of agile is that intentional behavioral shift to embrace change. And the key concept to take away from this is to deliver value to our customers. So for us in our profession, our customers are the employees, are the leaders. What are we doing? What are the products and services that we put in place to deliver value to our customers? And this is what makes us agile. We can move on. So to be agile, we can't be agile without looking at the concept of what is lean. So when we talk about being lean, it's not about doing things faster and quicker, but it's more around identifying and reducing and eliminating waste. So everything that doesn't add value to the activities needs to be eliminated and reduced. And in order for us to, once we've done that, we will deliver only value to our customers and drive continuous improvement. And that is what lean is, and that's how lean fits in with agile or being agile. Can go on. So for us as traditional HR people, for us to move into the unlearn and move into the agile way of thinking, we need to take on a paradigm shift. So to take on a paradigm shift, we have to have a growth mindset. So cultivate a passion for learning, put effort to achieve mastery and success. We also need to take a human-centered approach instead of a business or company-centered approach. So gain a deeper understanding of users, fuse empathy, compassion, and rationality. And then we're going to have to introduce our agile lean practices or get to know the agile lean practices so that we can deliver value to our customers and work in shorter cycle with more frequent feedback loops. So before I hand over to Sarika, so Agile PeopleOps framework, it's a dynamic and unified conceptual process methodology that transforms traditional HR processes into Agile PeopleOps practices. So Sarika, are you ready to take over from me?
Yes, Nadia, thank you so much. Thanks a lot, Nadia. And Mariana, before I proceed further, I could see people posting in the chat box that they're facing issues and the screen is not visible to them. Could you please stay in constant touch with them so that the issue gets resolved?
Yeah, I have responded to them on the chat box.
Okay. I hope others are facing this issue, Mariana.
The others are, I just checked the messages, they're all able to see the slides.
They are able to see the slides. Okay. Thank you so much. Thanks for your support. Okay, Francis is asking in the chat box, what about the slides? What exactly are you trying to ask, Francis? What is it that you want regarding the slides? Whatever your query is, Francis, could you please elaborate in the chat box? Thank you. All right, so by now, all of you must have got a hang of what exactly Agile and Lean is all about. And Nadia and I are really glad to share with you this innovative approach to HR, which is developed by Agile PeopleOps LLC, an elite partner to Culturligence and based in USA. Now, at the heart of this approach lies the groundbreaking Agile PeopleOps framework, which is the world's first framework of its kind. And when we mention Agile PeopleOps, it is natural to wonder about the connection between Agile and HR, right? So many of us don't know why is Agile there in HR, or what is the link between the two. Why? Typically because Agile is associated with the software industry. So to clarify, this methodology is built upon the principles of Agile, which is a project management methodology used in software sector. And Agile strongly emphasizes on flexibility, collaboration, and continuous improvement. However, by applying Agile principles to HR processes, organizations can establish more responsive and adaptable approach to managing their workforce. And this paradigm shift involves moving away from traditional HR processes and embracing more agile and dynamic practices. And the Agile framework demonstrates how to implement people operations in an agile manner. And this framework, I must tell you, has been successfully tested and implemented in various countries, including USA, India, South Africa, Europe, South America, Hong Kong for that matter, and list is long. We are, adding more countries on a regular basis. And certified professionals are continually joining the list of those who have adopted this approach. So before we delve deeper into this innovative approach, let me provide a brief overview of what APF entails. What is APF all about? What is it? What is the business that we are into? So we offer role-based certification programs to ensure that these concepts are not merely theoretical, but they can be effectively implemented in practice. So for entry-level professionals interested in pursuing a career in talent acquisition, we have APF Talent Champions program. And additionally, the APF Specialist program is designed for those seeking a generalist profile in the field of people operations, or HR, so to say. And to cater to their specific needs, we provide separate Scrum Master certification for both talent champions and specialists. Many of you are aware that Scrum Master is actually nothing but another name for a team leader. Many of you are not. So this is just for your information. Moreover, APF Coach program, which is tailored for HR VPs, directors, consultants, and coach agents, is certified by International Coaching Federation. And if you're interested in learning more about APF and its certifications, please feel free to use the chat box or visit our website for further information. And Mariana can share the link to the APF website in the chat with all of you. Could you please change the slide, Mariana? And please share the link to APF website too, Mariana. Thank you. Right, so now we'll stepwise look into the details. Let's come to Agile Manifesto first. Our manifesto is nothing but a written statement outlining what we stand for and how we plan to effect this change. And we strongly advocate these four aspects: team of teams over traditional hierarchies, growth mindset or fixed mindset, coaching culture over command and control, and transcultural competence over cultural competence. Let's have a look at each of these manifestos one by one. Let's start off with the concept of team of teams first. Now, team of teams, which is different from traditional hierarchical format used in most organizational charts. Now, in a traditional hierarchy, you must have seen there's a pyramid-like structure, directors, managers, team members, in order from highest to lowest level, with a very clear chain of command and very limited employee autonomy, right? In contrast, a team of teams, this approach brings together various teams together to collaborate and work together towards a shared goal, creating a network of teams, which is also called as shared consciousness. Let's understand this thing with the help of an example. Let's say a software development company. it may use team of teams approach to build new applications. Now this team, the team could consist of developers, designers, quality assurance testers, project managers, customer support representatives, all working together towards a shared goal. Now, this approach allows for faster decision-making and promotes collaboration between teams, leading to more efficient and more effective product development process. There's a person which is retired US Army General Stanley McChrystal. He has written a wonderful book on team of teams, which highlights the importance of agility, communication, and shared consciousness in modern organizations, and the need to empower individuals and small teams to adapt and innovate. And in this book, he shared valuable lessons for organizations, especially those struggling with unconventional challenges and environments today. And if you want to learn more, the book is available online. You can Google it, you will find it. It's called Team of Teams by Stanley McChrystal. Next is growth mindset or fixed mindset. Could you please change this? Thanks, Vimara. Okay, right. Growth mindset or fixed mindset. Let's understand this once again with the help of an example. Let's say there is an HR manager who believes that his methods of employee training and performance evaluation are the only effective ones. Not hard to find such people, they are there, they exist in our organizations, right? So whenever his team members suggest new ideas or approaches, he may dismiss them as unnecessary or impractical, saying that we have always done it this way and there is no need to change and things like that. And this fixed mindset leads him to resist innovation, feedback, collaboration, which can actually prevent the team, in this case, the HR team, from improving their processes and supporting the organizational goals. A fixed mindset actually limits the personal growth and prevents people from reaching to their full potential. In contrast, an HR manager with a growth mindset, they might say, I'm open to exploring new ideas and strategies that could improve our process and support our employees better. And this growth mindset enables the team and the manager to embrace new approaches, encourage feedback, encourage collaboration, and continuously improve the team's performance, leading to greater success and achieving the organizational objectives. Once again, the concept of growth mindset was popularized by Carol Dweck, a Stanford University psychologist. And research has shown that individuals with a growth mindset tend to be more resilient and successful in various areas of life. And at the end of this session, or maybe in a day or two, Mariana will share a handout with all of you, which includes the topics covered in the webinar and some self-assessment tests for you to reflect upon related to growth mindset. And regarding this research by Carol Dweck, you can go ahead and Google. There are YouTube videos available posted by Carol Dweck, who is a Stanford University psychologist, and she has worked a lot on this concept of growth mindset. Can you please change the slide, Mariana? Thank you. Okay, so next manifesto in line is command and control. And we are advocating coaching culture over command and control. Now, an HR manager demonstrating a command and control style of leadership, he exercises authoritative control over employees, their tasks, their decisions, and they adopt a top-down approach, providing clear instructions and expecting strict compliance. That is what command and control is all about. So communication primarily flows only in one direction with limited inputs or participation from the team. And decisions are made by the managers, and employees are expected just to follow without any questions. Now, this style may result in a lack of autonomy and creativity among team members, potentially stifling innovation and employee engagement. It can actually create an environment where employees feel disempowered and their potential contributions may actually go untapped. In contrast, an HR manager exhibiting a coaching style of leadership, he fosters the growth and development of the employees through guidance and support. And this person prioritizes open communication, active listening, encouraging team members to share their ideas, their concerns. So he actually creates a space, a psychologically safe space for each and every team member. And these managers, they act as mentors, providing constructive feedback and helping employees identify their strengths and their areas of improvement. And they empower their employees to take ownership of their work. They offer guidance and resources to help them achieve their goals. So this is not to mention by and far the best way of working along with your team members. Instead of going ahead with the command and control, go ahead and follow this coaching culture in an organization with your team members. Next in the line is transcultural competence over cultural competence. Now let's understand what cultural competence is first. Cultural competence is ability of a person to effectively interact, work, and develop meaningful relationship with people from its own culture. On the other hand, transcultural competence is nothing but the ability to understand, appreciate, and interact with people from different cultures. Now, individuals, we could see, are better able to accomplish goals in a respectful and effective way, no matter what the cultural context is, in transcultural competence. And here, emphasis is majorly on 4 aspects: recognition, respect, reconciliation, and realization. Recognition. How well can an individual recognize the cultural difference around him or her? Respect. How respectful can the individual be about those cultural differences? Reconciliation. How competent is the individual to reconcile the cultural difference? And realization. How competent can he become to realize the necessary actions to implement the reconciliation of the cultural difference? Right? I think you must have come across such things in your organization too, and I would greatly appreciate if you could share at the end of our session any instances within your organization where you have witnessed the demonstration of transcultural competence, or maybe you have demonstrated to others, you have actually showcased it. And what was your experience so far? So Mariana, do you have a mentee to share with everyone over here?
Yes, we have a mentee exercise right now, and I will just share a link. Just share it in the chat.
Sure.
So you will all receive a link in the chat box. Would request you all to open the link and cast your vote for the questions asked.
Okay. So Mariana has shared the link to this mentee activity here in the chat box. Please go ahead and click on this link. If you're being asked to enter a code, the code is up there on your screen, which is 46880495. In case it doesn't, then you can go ahead and cast your vote directly. Now, the question is, in today's VUCA world, which APF manifesto do you think is most important for the PeopleOps function? And rank them in the order of the priority. Okay, we have people joining the mentee. And so far, growth mindset is actually topping the chart. If any one of you is, having any issues going to mentee, please let us know. If you're not able to access the link, please let us know. Right, so we have 7 people on the board right now. And growth mindset is still topping the chart. 9 on the board, and the result is same. Okay. So we have 12 people on the board right now, and it's quite interesting that all of you feel that growth mindset is very, very important for the organizations in this scenario. Yes, Francis. It all starts with the mind, very true. And Francis, one more thing, when we introspect, we could also find, at some point of time or the other, we are actually, in that fixed mindset at times. It's not that everybody is in that growth mindset frame all the time. It depends in which situation, in which frame of mind you are. It could be growth at some point of time. It could be fixed at other point of time. So yes. All right. So we have 14 participants on the board, Mariana, and everybody has, most of them actually, they have prioritized growth mindset or fixed mindset. All right. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot for this activity. We have one more activity coming up, after this. Thanks, Francis. All right, Mariana, could you please share the slide now? Thank you. Okay. So that was all about APF Manifesto. Now we'll talk about APF values. What are values? Values, they are nothing but the fundamental beliefs of an organization. And organizational values, they actually provide a clear guidance for decision-making. They shape the company culture. They align employees towards shared goal and principles. So all in all, they guide the employees in identifying what is right, what is wrong. So they get a sense of direction. So your values are the things that you believe are important in the way you live and the way you work. So in APF, we strongly advocate these 6 values: open communication, feedback, commitment, courage, respect, and adaptability. Let's talk about each and every one of them one by one. Although these are so simple, I mean, most of you could relate to it. But then when it comes to an organization level, then things are slightly different. Now, open communication refers to creating a work environment where people, where employees, they feel comfortable and encouraged to express their thoughts, their concerns, and feedback without any fear of retribution. And by promoting it, HR or people operations or any manager for that matter, they can gather valuable insights from the employees. They can identify the areas for improvement and make some data-driven decisions to support the organization's objectives. It can also help address conflicts, address issues before even they escalate. Right? And open communication promotes transparency, promotes trust, promotes collaboration. And it could take many forms, including those regular check-ins, performance evaluations, employee surveys, as well as feedback mechanisms, right? Just like suggestion boxes. So many of us have it in our organizations. Next is feedback. Feedback is very essential in HR, not only in HR, I would say every department, so to say, as it helps to improve employee performance and engagement. And by providing constructive feedback, employees can understand their strengths, their areas for improvement, which can lead to increased motivation and productivity. And additionally, feedback can also help HR identify areas where employees may need additional training or support, ultimately leading to a more skilled and effective workforce, which is of great importance to an organization. And furthermore, consistent feedback can contribute to culture of continuous improvement, which can enhance the overall success and competitiveness of the organization. So that's how it is. Next in line comes commitment, courage, and respect. The other three values very essential to creating a positive and productive workplace culture. Commitment is very important to be towards your work or towards yourself. When it comes to work, towards work, it can be shown by being dedicated, striving for excellence, taking ownership of your tasks, being accountable, and collaborating with colleagues to achieve common goals. And how HR can demonstrate commitment? HR can demonstrate commitment by providing support, promoting employee development, and creating a positive work culture. How leaders can show commitment? Leaders can show commitment by recognizing and rewarding employee contributions. And commitment towards self is also equally important, just like commitment towards organization, right? And how it can be demonstrated? It can be demonstrated by setting personal goals, continuous learning, improving skills, taking care of physical and mental health. And after COVID, we all have realized how important it is, and maintaining a work-life balance. So one thing is to be understood here is balancing commitment towards self and work is important for achieving overall success and well-being. Next comes courage. Courage refers to the ability to take risk and speak up when something is not right. I know it's very hard when it comes to organizations. You all could see that. Sometimes we don't even think of picking up courage and go ahead and speak up in front of our boss, even if something is going wrong. So employees who have the courage to express their opinions and ideas, even if they are different from others, can help foster innovation and creativity in the workplace. Difficult, I agree. Impossible, it is not. So leaders who encourage courage by creating a safe space for employees to express their thoughts and ideas can actually help create a culture of trust and openness. Respect. Respect refers to treating others with dignity, with fairness, with kindness. And we could see how diverse these days our workplaces are. The very example is here in front of you in this webinar. We have people from all across the globe, right? So try and respect people. Employees who feel respected are more likely to be engaged and motivated at work. And leaders who model respectful behavior can help create a positive work environment where all employees feel valued and supported. Then comes adaptability, very essential skill for employees at all levels in the organization. COVID times have actually taught us a lot, and adaptability is one of them. Especially in today's rapidly changing business environment, we could see that, and it's becoming even more important. So, because after COVID, organizations have had to rapidly adjust to new ways of working and operating. And we learned new technologies during that time, new communication methods. We learned how to adjust work schedule, job responsibilities, and expectations to respond to the pandemic. And above all, we realized the significance of our mental well-being to cope up with stress, with uncertainty, with change, to maintain that positive outlook at all the times. So these are the values that APF strongly advocates. Mariana, do you have one more mentee here for everybody to share?
Yes, we have another mentee exercise. I will share the link.
Sure. So there is one more mentee activity for all of us here. The process remains the same. You can go ahead and click on the link Mariana will be sharing in the chat box. Okay, and the question is, which APF values does your organization follow? Please go ahead and join the link that Mariana has shared in the chat box for the mentee. And the values are open communication, feedback, commitment, courage, respect, adaptability, or none. Let's see. This time the results are going to be very interesting. What do you think, what do you think, Nadia?
I saw respect shot up, but then I see feedback on is chasing it.
I could see people falling behind when it comes to adaptability, Nadia. But then respect is at the top. Yes. With commitment and courage standing at the same level. Nadia, you're on mute.
I don't know how I muted myself, but I think with the adaptability, being so low, I think it shows, how agile is your business or your organization that you're part of.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very true.
Respect
very true.
Stands out. We're all respecting each other, and even like courage being low. I think, like you said, courage is, it's hard to be courageous and sometimes say things aren't the way it should be.
Right. And maybe, at the end of the session during our question answer round, we are open to discussions, Nadia, with everybody coming up with their suggestions or their thoughts, their perspectives about this is something that organization is following right now. What is it that they want their organization to follow next?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. What is it that where would they love to be?
Yes, yes. Right. So with that, we have come to the results, and this respect is actually topping the chart, followed by feedback, open communication, commitment, and courage standing at the same level, and then adaptability. And thankfully, nobody has opted none. So all right. Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks a lot for this activity. Thanks, Mariana. All right. Value realization. Now let's talk as to what is it that happens or what could you expect when you embrace agile mindset. Now with agile mindset, cross-functional collaboration happens when different teams in an organization, they collaborate on a common project or a goal. And you could witness the breaking down of silos and departments working alongside each other instead of against each other. And the various functions, they become more productive. They create a more enjoyable workplace. And with this cross-functional collaboration in place, you would see that the co-creation is also happening. That is developing new products and services together with customers, could be with partners, could be with stakeholders, leading to more innovative ideas and improved services. And you are able to streamline the process, simplify it. And how can it be done? By eliminating unnecessary work-related tasks. That is all up what Lean is all about, what Nadia talked to you about. By eliminating unnecessary work-related tasks to improve the proficiency, the efficiency of the processes in the business and the organization. And this could very well be done with the help of agile tools. Say, for example, over-documentation, over-processing in HR, entering data into one or more systems, leading to a high time cost, unnecessary approvals, signatures from the management or staff, keeping both hard and electronic copies of the files, right? Which is actually not required. And all this can be reduced, and effort and time could be spent on other important work that needs to be done. This is what you could expect. Next could be short and frequent meetings. Now, this increases team's work momentum. Setting the appropriate cadence ensures the balance between individual productivity and group updates on projects of whatever work you are doing in your organization. And this involves the assessment of your current process, your current product, or your services to ensure that output is maximized and waste is minimized, leading to continuous improvement. And continuous improvement, it has to become a part of business's ongoing operations. It is not, one time done deal, right? It has to be there as a part of business's ongoing operations. And lastly, how do you build successful human-centered experience? Now, one example of a company that is known for practicing human-centered approach in recruitment is Airbnb. Airbnb places a strong emphasis on providing positive candidate experience throughout the recruitment process. How? They prioritize open and transparent communication, ensuring that the candidates they receive regular updates and feedback on their application status. It's not that they are sitting on the applications and the candidate has no clue what exactly has happened to his application. The company also focuses on building relationships with the candidates, treating them as individuals rather than just applicants. They stay in constant touch with the candidate at each and every point of time. And they incorporate elements of personalization by tailoring their recruitment process to align the candidates' unique skills and experiences to their organizations. And furthermore, Airbnb is committed to fostering diversity, inclusion, actively seeking out candidates from underrepresented backgrounds and striving to eliminate bias in the hiring practice. It's not that they are trying to hire from a particular group in the society. No, they are giving each and everybody equal opportunity to be a part of their organization. And these efforts, they demonstrate their dedication to creating a human-centered experience for potential employees. Airbnb was just one example from my end. There could be so many others. You can go ahead and actually check how people are going ahead and implementing these things in their organizations. All right, could you please change the slide, Mariana? Right. So to sum up, it is crucial to consider the benefits that embracing an agile mindset can bring to your organization, especially in the realm of people operations. Right? As the role of people operations continues to evolve, it opens doors for individuals to become advocates of change within their teams, within their organizations. And it is incumbent upon each person to reflect on their own contributions to fostering agility and promoting ongoing growth. And if you require assistance or any kind of support on this journey, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. We are here to provide you any help from our end. You have Mariana's email ID, you have Roxy with you. You can go ahead and reach out to any one of them and they will in turn show you the ropes. So that was all from my end. Thank you so much, Mariana. Thanks a lot, everyone. Over to you, Mariana.
Do we have any questions from the audience? You can unmute yourselves or you can use the chat box.
Yes, and if not questions, we are open to discussions actually. We have quite experienced people out here in our room. We could see, Roxy, do you have anybody who you would like to invite for a discussion here?
Well, I don't want to put anyone on the spot as such, but it would be good to get a flavor of how people are using Agile HR in their organizations currently, or if they have done in the past. So if there is anyone who's willing to share how they've used whatever Agile methods or introducing Lean into their environments as well, that would be really interesting.
Absolutely. In fact, I would like to hear from all the participants what is their take from today's webinar.
I see Francis has messaged something regarding adaptability.
Okay, let me see. Okay, Francis's message. I also feel like adaptability comes from research and knowledge. Culturally in Nigeria, a lot of people I find don't like deep research. If you don't know, how can you adapt? Very true, Francis. That it is actually a problem I have encountered in a lot of places I have worked, right? Okay, Rod. Thanks, Rod. Thanks a lot. But Francis, tell me one thing. You could say people are not researching enough. And so what do you think would be the possible solution to this?
Well,
Okay, nice to see you, Francis.
Hi. So what
Hi.
I try to do is also because, for example, where I work now is like it's a business consultancy. So there's always a lot going on. And I do understand that sometimes teams may not have the time to read lengthy pieces of information or attend like an hour-long or 2-hour-long training. So what I try to do is like on Mondays, Thursdays and Fridays, I just send like little research things or just read this little tidbit here, do that, and they consume it. But then I feel like it's also spoon feeding. I'm trying to think of a way I can get them to be excited about doing the research and doing the work, because it's actually a very essential part of the business we do here. If you're going to advise clients, you need to read, and you need to read in depth. So I find that giving all that information helps, it works, but I also want to get them to a place where they are self-directed with that, if that makes any sense. So any tips for that would help.
That is actually, that is what they have to think about themselves, right? They should be in that continuous learning mode all the time. Unless and until you are open to learning, you are into that growth mindset, you are not limiting yourself to certain things. Otherwise, what I could see from what you are talking about right now is people are doing what they are being told, just like that. They're not trying to upskill themselves from there, right? And that is not the case, that the case should be, So be in that continuous learning mode, learn and then implement and upgrade and upskill yourself. Be progressive in nature. Don't get, don't let your profession rot at any particular point of time. Don't get stagnated. That is what it is. It's highly competitive world out there. And that is what we are here for. All right. Thanks, Francis. Thanks for that. Thank you, Lola. Thanks a lot. I'm glad you found this whole discussion informative. Thanks a lot. Okay, Romina has mentioned, in my case, I'm currently looking for HR positions, and I understand that learning Agile could be an asset in my resume. Definitely, Romina. Romina, just to add to this, the owner of Cultural, she has written a book on hiring, on how hiring could be done, implementing those Agile ways and means. And Mariana, could you please share that link in the chat box? See if that could be of help to you. It's Bookapun. This link is there. And there are a few more links to Agile books, Mariana, with you. Could you please share it with everyone so that they can go ahead and read whenever time permits? Because I understand, maybe many of you have got introduced to this concept of Agile people operations for the very first time. It's not that you will get a hang of it in the very first webinar that you have attended. So far, you need to go ahead and deep dive. It's a subject in itself. So please go ahead and read wherever you think you need our support. Please get back to us, reach out to us. We will be glad to support and help you in every way possible. All right. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Yes, Mariana.
That was a wonderful session. Don't you all agree? I want to take a moment to thank our speakers for this thought-provoking and knowledge-sharing session. Thank you. You will all receive a feedback form link in the chat box. Would request you to share your feedback. Okay, so we have an upcoming Zambia webinar scheduled on June 24th. The speaker is Nakambo Chirwa, and the session aims to empower individuals like yourselves to embrace personal growth and harness the power of a growth mindset to achieve extraordinary success. So I invite you all to register for the webinar, and the link will be shared to you all via email. I guarantee you that this learning experience would be great. We also have an exciting news your way. We invite you to join our upcoming global virtual conference, the PeopleOps Pulse 2023, scheduled from October 10th to 12th, 9 a.m. to noon New York time. We're bringing together industry experts from around the world to share their knowledge and ideas during the conference. And the conference theme will explore how organizations can ACE, that is foster business agility, adopt coaching as a practice, and elevate the people experience. In addition to this, there will be lots of networking opportunities, which I'm sure you would not like to miss. So I invite you all to pre-register for the conference, and I will be sharing the link to that as well. Hoping to see you all during the conference. So what do we have next? We have some post-webinar assessments and for this webinar, and they will be shared to all the attendees. Also, in continuation to this trio webinar series, we have our upcoming UK webinar in the month of July. So stay tuned for that. Would now like to call Roxanne to say a thank you note.
I just want to thank everyone who was able to make it and anyone who's watching the recording. We have a lot coming up in the community and lots of people across the community who want to share their knowledge in the likes of design thinking, looking at servant leadership and managing burnout and all those kind of things that interweave into that agile space within HR. So yeah, please do stay tuned and join the community if you haven't already. Thank you.
Thank you, Roxanne. We will be sharing the recording of this session to all the participants who have RSVP'd, and we will upload this to our Agile PeopleOps YouTube channel. Thank you all once again. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks a lot for staying till. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.